Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams is brought to you in part by AirTran Airways. For low fares to over 50 cities, book at airtran.com. Don't give up the sport, give up the pain. Talk to the Aurora Sports Medicine Institute. And by U.S. Bank, a proud sponsor of Marquette Athletics. All of us serving you.
Welcome to Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams, Dennis Krause with the coach. It was a tough week for the Golden Eagles. 2 losses to finish the Big East season at 9-9. And Coach, Saturday night, 85-72 loss at Seton Hall. I know after the game there was a little meeting in the locker room. Kind of the theme of that, without going into too much private stuff that I know you wouldn't want to share.
I wouldn't have said anything in there that I wouldn't have said to you or said publicly. The regular season's over. We finished 9-9. Finished the week with 2 losses, as you said, 2 losses that you could argue one for sure would have got us in the NCAA tournament. It's a new season. We're 0-0. We weren't tough enough to win against Cincinnati at home. Disappointed. Weren't tough enough to win against Seton Hall on the road. Disappointed. The first half of both of those games, if you combine those 2 halves, were the worst that we had played. And that's not good enough to win in March. I believe that you win in March. The toughest teams win in March, and all coaches say that, but that is what I believe.
You talk about being tough, and it's interesting. Jimmy Butler's quote after the Seton Hall game was, "We were not the tougher team." For someone like you, that's got to strike right at your heart.
Yeah, that's the most disappointing thing. You always want to win. I always want to win, but we didn't win a lot of games last year, but it was never a question of were we the toughest team. And even some of the games this year, to be honest with you, if you look at our roster, are we the most talented team? Are we going to win games in the Big East exclusively based on are we more talented than the opponent? The answer to that question is no. I don't think that we're built that way. I don't think that that's how we operate. Do we have talented players? Yes. And the one thing that you have to have no matter where you go is you have to have toughness. And I think through the first 1,050 days, I think our program has been that. Over the last 7 days, we did not have that, and that is very disappointing to me.
I know you lamented in that Seton Hall game not guarding the ball well, gave up 11 threes in that game in the first half alone to Seton Hall.
Well, that's what I was saying. In the first half of both of the Cincinnati and Seton Hall, they score 11 threes, and then in the second half, they score 1. Well, you know, somewhere they were shooting the ball really well. They scored 12 against St. John's the previous game, but all of that stuff, all of their ball screen actions, you have to be able to guard the ball. If you're able to guard the ball and it doesn't force help, then those threes that they shoot probably are not threes that they shoot. But if they do shoot them, they're not wide open. And it wasn't the guy that was guarding the guy that shot the ball. It was that the guy that was supposed to be guarding him was in help because we didn't initially guard the ball. And the same thing happened in Cincinnati. We have 9 turnovers in the first half. Well, in the second half, we have 2. Well, combined 11 for the game, we're first in the Big East in least amount of turnovers per game. But when you have 9 turnovers, that's 9 possessions that we score 50% of the time. We shoot 50%. We need those 9. And we're down 6, I believe, at half against Cincinnati. We didn't handle their pressure. They were the more dominating team from a mentality standpoint. And that was the same thing that happened against Seton Hall in the first half.
You know, you win and lose as a team, so I'm not trying to single out anybody here, but you need Jay Crowder to play well to win. And in the Seton Hall game, you put him back in the starting lineup, 1 point, and I know he limited himself with a lot of foul trouble.
Well, that's the thing. You know, I didn't not start Jay in the 3 games that we won prior to Cincinnati and Seton Hall. I was kind of protecting himself from himself. He's always going to get 1 foolish foul. And, you know, we had that same problem last year with Czar during a stretch. I didn't have a choice to not start Czar. And I thought Eric and Joe both did well. Joe's knees they've just completely give out on him. And I think Eric has continued to grow, and I think Eric has gained confidence from starting. And as I've told our team, Eric, even if you only play the first 10 possessions of the game, but in those 10 possessions you get 1 offensive rebound and 1 defensive rebound and you guard your man, that only helps you. It helps our team because now Jay is able to get a feel for the flow of the game, and it probably protects him from his first foolish foul. So like in Seton Hall, we start him. Well, he gets 2 fouls in 6 minutes in the first half. So now we're dependent upon playing small. We're dependent upon playing Eric and or Devontae, the combination of those over the course of the next 14 minutes. That's not the most healthy thing for our team. And I'm not going to start Jay against Providence tomorrow. But my thing is, it's not because Jay can't play. It's because Jay is so important to us when we play that we need him to play.
Two thoughts on that 67-60 loss to Cincinnati at the Bradley Center on senior night. Their press was effective, certainly, and their offensive rebounding, big parts.
They play 10 guys, 10 high major guys, and there's not a lot of separation between them. You know, you look at their points in the paint versus our points in the paint, they outscored us by 3. In the second half, they got big offensive rebounds that typically turned into putbacks. We didn't handle their pressure in the first half, mostly because of them, but partly because we just didn't execute what it is that we've executed throughout the year with teams pressing us, and that's no good. You're giving away possessions, and then they're capitalizing on those possessions. And it's similar to what I said when we played against UConn. Rarely do you win a game when an opponent shoots 14 or 15 more shots. Well, if you're giving it to them, if you're turning it over, that's hard to overcome.
AirTran key stat of the week, Coach Jimmy Butler. In both losses, he came up big. Cincinnati game, 30 points, 15 of 17 from the line. Seton Hall, 20 points, 11 of 13 from the line.
He's played great. He scored 50% of our points against Cincinnati. Good for Jimmy. But just that stat alone, you know that's bad for our team. He scored 50% of our points. Darius scored 25% of our points. They're the only two guys that were in double figures. We're the leading scoring team in our league. You can't, and that's not because we only have two guys that score in double figures. And we had a lot of that. If you take away the last 3.5 minutes against Seton Hall, we had a lot of that again against Seton Hall. So that's got to change if we're going to continue to play.
When we come back in our next two segments, tributes to the 4 seniors on the Marquette basketball team. Stay with us. Back on Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams. Our U.S. Bank Up Close segment looks at seniors Rob Frozina and Dwight Bikes.
Down 45, Frozina, yes, and a foul!
He works out with these guys in practice. He gets beat on, he gets abused at times, but just because he's a walk-on doesn't mean Todd Smith doesn't spend time with Rob.
Nice hustle. And Frozina saves it behind the back to Bryce. The crowd loved it.
On the floor, kick out Frozina for the jumper.
You love to see when the walk-on gets in the game, and you definitely love to see when he's able to get a basket.
I think first and foremost, I got to thank God because he's the only one who could have put me on this journey. Coming in my freshman year, you know, this was my childhood dream. Never would have ever thought it would have happened. So he's the one who knew everything. So thank you. Next, I got to thank my family. I have family in the stands too. Just all the support they've given me throughout my 4-year career. I have to definitely thank my parents, my sister, my girlfriend, who I think collectively have missed 2 home games my entire 4-year career. In case you guys don't know, I come from a small high school, about 200 kids. And, just the whole organization, the TSIS organization, it's all one big family. And just everyone back at home. You know, I really appreciate it, so thank you guys. Coach Buzz, who, you know, my sophomore year, it could have been very easy for him to be like, you're no good, I don't want you. But, you know, he told me, he's like, if you want to be a part of it, he's like, I'd love to have you come along for the ride. And, you know, it's been a hell of a ride, Coach.
Hold on, I forgot the most important people, the fans. You guys, man, you guys are unbelievable. You know, I thank all you guys for all your support. You know, when I got the ball 35 feet from the basket and you're telling me to shoot it, you know, it's awesome. But I think I definitely got to give a special shout out to the students.
For Bikes and a three. Yes!
Dwight Bikes delivering.
Back dump by Dwight Bikes. Bikes? Oh, man! Bikes is putting on, he's pulled everything out of the repertoire tonight.
Yo, come on up here, man. My team right here, man. I want to thank my family, which is my army over there, everybody. It's my mama right there, Marianne Woods. Love you, mama. Everybody else, love all y'all. My daughter right there, Sanaya Bikes right there. I'm the only person that's from here and barely get to go to the house, so I'm like with them all day. So this is like my other family right here. That's why they're up here with me. I want to thank the fans, you know, everybody that's here right now. I don't think y'all really, I don't really think y'all know how much we appreciate y'all and what y'all do for us. We really don't get to tell y'all that, but I just want to let you know that coming from everybody that we do appreciate y'all's support for the Golden Eagles. I want to thank the whole coaching staff here, Coach Buzz, tough coach to play for, you know. One thing about him that it's just, it ain't really about basketball with him, you know, it's about life, and he really cared more about life than being a basketball player. He really cared about what you're going to do after basketball, so I want to thank you for that. I'm done, but I thank all y'all, man. We love y'all. That's it.
Coach, as we talk about each of the seniors, let's start with Dwight, a local kid, and I know that you have loved his story.
I absolutely love his story, and I think that his story is going to continue to evolve. It's going to continue to grow, and I think that he's going to have great success. So proud of how he has matured off the floor, has really been a key contributor to our team this year. I'm really going to miss him. I said when I signed him that if you look in a dictionary for a Buzz Williams recruit, you would see a picture of Dwight, because I like guys that have an edge. I like guys that come from a mix-matched plot of how they arrived at our place, and I just love what he's about.
Fan favorite Rob Frozina, the walk-on, who's given everything he has to you.
No, the best teammate I've ever seen. First four-year walk-on in the history of Marquette. That tells you how hard it is to be in that position. Love what he has been to our program, and we will miss him just as much as we're going to miss those guys that were on scholarship.
And when we come back, Joe Fulson, Jimmy Butler on Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams. Sports Medicine Institute All Access segment looks at Joe Fulce and Jimmy Butler, seniors for Marquette.
Long rebound rebound knocked around. Fultz has it under the basket. Reverse layup is good. How'd he do that, Mac? He didn't use the board.
Look at this.
Fultz. Fultz once again right there, and he puts it in. Can they get somebody on this guy? And now Marquette has numbers. Fultz alone.
I want to thank the Lord for letting me be able to come here to Marquette. And I was thinking about it the other day, like, what was I going to say in front of everybody? And I always wanted to know, I always prayed about it, asked Lord, why would you send me to Marquette? Like, my path and everything. And I still don't know why, but he did it for a good reason, and I have no regrets. I also want to thank my teammates. GTST, baby, So here with a great group of guys. Jimmy is like my best friends, like my brother. Love him. Bike, they're all like brothers to me. Bikes, we've gone through a lot, had a lot of fun and stuff. I love you guys. Rob, one of the funniest guys I've ever met other than me. And I want to thank my family, my father. Thanks for always just being there for me at all times, keeping me in check. I want to thank my high school coach, Tom Emmon. Definitely, he's always been there for me since I was young. Stayed on me as well, until the time I got here. My uncle and my pastor, just thank you for all the support and all the love for coming out and everything. And I just want to say thank y'all, really. I'm very appreciative.
Looking to drive against Martin. Fadeaway 17-footer is
shot.
Good.
Wow. What a tough shot.
Butler down. Up with it. Yes! And he'll go to the line. Well, you better put a body on Jimmy Butler around the bucket.
Butler going to go again. Stripped by Booth. His turnaround. Got it at the buzzer.
I'd like to thank my family, my mom. I know they don't look like me much, but that's as much love as I get over there. It's too much, and it's enough to go around. I'd like to thank these guys for making my senior year as great as it could be. The coaching staff, all the time y'all spend away from y'all's families to be with us, that means more to each and every one of us than any of y'all could ever know. I'd like to thank all the fans for my 3 years being here. Y'all did an incredible job. And then I'd like to thank my academic advisors, all my teachers for keeping me on track in the classroom. But I know it means a lot to one of my teachers, and that's Dr. Richard Jones. He was my first teacher in the summer session in my sociology class, and we talked about a lot of things. He's a huge basketball fan, so I want to give a shout out to him before I'm done here. And then Buzz, he's a father figure to me. Thank you for bringing me here. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you for everything that you've blessed me with, everything you've put me through. I've grown up. When I got here, I was from Houston, leaving here. I'm from Tomball, Texas.
Coach, you alluded earlier in the show, Joe has literally given his body to this program, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Joe's been with me longer than any assistant coach on our staff. I met Joe when I was an assistant at Colorado State, signed him at Texas A&M, signed him as the head coach at New Orleans, signed him as an assistant coach at Marquette, and then coached him as the head coach at Marquette. I've known him since he was a sophomore, and in many ways, he is like my son. And we'll find a way to keep him around because I'm not sure that I would know what to do if Joe wasn't around because he's been around me for so long. I wish that his story would have been different as a player, but within having said that, I think what he has gone through, Dennis, has really matured him as a person. I think he sees life through a completely different lens than he once did because of the injuries.
Jimmy Butler was named honorable mention All Big East, DJO All Big East second team. But when you talk about Jimmy Butler, I'm sure that kind of an honor is the last thing that you think about. You think about him as a person, right?
Well, you know, he sent his faxed his NLI from the McDonald's in Tyler, Texas, and that was before I'd hired any coach. It was just Barb and I wasn't sure that Barb knew what an NLI was, and it covertly, obviously, it was coming from McDonald's. And so I'm talking to the manager at McDonald's on my cell phone as I'm standing at the fax machine. And, you know, we had those 4 seniors that were returning. We had 4 open scholarships. And we had 4 guys on the team that they didn't know if they liked me and I didn't know if they liked them when we signed Jimmy. And it, you know, that was several years ago, it seems, but it also seems like it just happened yesterday. And I thought Jimmy Butler was the swing vote for our team in year number 1, and he's evolved into a guy that is really hard to get off the floor at any point in time. And I think, not being a prophet, I think he's going to end up playing for a long time at a very high level. And that's because of what he is as a person.
I've heard of McDonald's All-Americans, but that's
that's a little different deal,
different twist there for Buzz Williams. Stay with us. We'll look ahead to the Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden in New York. Back with the coach. Fresh start, Big East Tournament, Tuesday night against Providence. You saw them recently. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, Marshawn Brooks is the second leading scorer in the NCAA. He's a first-round pick in the NBA draft in June. Can really, really score. They had lost 7 in a row. They won on senior night, beat Rutgers, so they'll be excited. Just like it's a fresh start for us, Dennis, it's a fresh start for them and any other team that's still playing this time of the year.
Whether it's true or not, do you tell your team, we got to have this game to get in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I told them we got to beat Providence. I told them that we have to beat Providence. I'm transparent with everybody that I deal with. Sometimes I understand that's negative. I've been very honest with our teams throughout my entire tenure here. I don't think that there is a specific number. But I thought when we beat Louisville last year, when I was jumping up and down, I was jumping up and down because of the pin-up emotion, because I knew if we won that game, we were in the tournament. If we beat Providence, does that mean we're in the tournament? I don't know that it does. If we beat West Virginia, does that mean we're in the tournament? I don't know. I think it gets us closer. And so what I've told our team is we need to play as long as we can, because that gives us the most opportunity to continue to play.
Do you coach any differently with rotations because the Big East Tournament can be such a grind?
Well, I think yes, potentially. Within having said that, only if it's assured that you're going to win the game. You know, that's the problem with the desperation part. I think we function better as a group with our backs in the corner. I think that's who I am. I think that's who our guys are. I think that's who our coaches are. But within having said that, you want to have a little bit of wisdom in how you manage all of it. Pre-game, shoot-around, day of the game, night game, day game, who's the opponent, how many guys do they play. All of those things factor in, but never to surrender the fact that you have to win, obviously.
Coach, thank you. Good luck in New York.
Thank you.
That's Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams. See you next week.
Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams was brought to you in part by the Aurora Sports Medicine Institute, the exclusive sports medicine provider to Marquette University Athletics. U.S. Bank, a proud sponsor of Marquette Athletics. All of us serving you. And by Air Trent Airways. Go. There's nothing stopping you.